Start again. So we are starting session 3 of MBA workshop for BG programs, and Dr. Nagaraj JS will be giving a speech on COs formation and POs, as well as CO and PO mapping, and a brief introduction of Nagaraj JS is Sir has obtained graduate degree in computer science and engineering, postgraduate in Masters of Engineering, and doctoral degree in computer science and engineering. Professor is working as a professor and associate dean in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, RV College of Engineering. Has 25 years of teaching and 15 years of research experience. Research interests are in computer organization, architecture and applications, computer networks management, wireless network, storage optimization, cloud computing, parallel processing, HPC, routing and switching, protocol design, multimedia communications. Presently, Professor is teaching PG and UG students and supervising 5 research scholars and a VTU from Jain University. 4 students have completed PhD program under Professor supervision, and has completed a major research project cited by UGC titled Effective Multimedia Information Retrieval Using Index Technique. Currently, Professor is working on solar energy COT research project granted by IAC Bangalore. Published 39 papers in international journals. Presented 32 papers in international conference and 20 papers in national conference. As active member, a reviewer of IEEE IST, CSI and RBC Cisco Academy. Involved in many activities of IEEE IST and RBC Cisco Academy. Chaired many international and national conferences in Karnataka. Organized workshops, seminars, technical talks, and international conference held at RBC. Has worked as general chair, technical chair of IEEE, national conferences and international conferences, and computational system for information technology for sustainable solution. Involved in PG, MBA, VOS, VOE, and DC external panel members for few autonomous college under VTU and other universities in Karnataka. Has evaluated PhD thesis as external examiner for many universities. Has delivered many technical talk in different engineering colleges. Presented a national award, Rajaram Bapu Patil, for promising engineer teacher for creative work done in technical education for the academic year 2018. Cisco presented an advanced level instructor excellence recognition for the contribution to the Cisco Networking Academy program. Presently, Professor is working as IEEE CS ExCom member of Bangalore chapter as well. So this is a brief introduction of Professor. I now welcome Professor to give us an highlight of the COs formation and POs and their mapping to enable us to know more about the mapping of COs and POs and the related contents of it. It is over to Dr. Nagaraj GS to start a session. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor. I'm audible, sir?
Yeah, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Indeed, I'm very happy to share my views on accreditation for MTech programs. I think it is not only for MTech programs. it is also applicable for UG programs as well. I guess earlier we used to prepare on 16 POs. The earlier criteria includes there have been 9 divisions, which talks about vision, mission, and program educational objectives, program outcomes, program curriculum, student performance, faculty contributions, facilities and technical support, teaching learning process, governance, institutional support and finance resources, and lastly, continuous improvement, wherein the maximum number of points.
Slides.
Yeah. I mean, this is the outline. Actually, it is not included in the slide. Basically,
Okay.
we have there will be a total right 1,000 points earlier. Now we want to apply for MTech program. We have only 6 criteria, where in each criteria we have there will be very specific marks allocated as earlier. Among there will be 6 criteria, probably the first one is program curriculum and teaching learning process. The second one is program outcomes and course outcomes. Third one is students' performance. Fourth one is faculty contributions. Fifth one is laboratories and research facilities. And the last one is continuous improvement. The total number of marks allocated altogether is 500 now. And we need to prepare a document based on this, and we have to submit to NBA body. Having said that, let us go in detail about my presentation. I'm going to cover up some of the key terminologies which we generally use in case of National Board of Accreditation process, and program curriculum details, program outcomes details, attainment of COs, wherein while talking about there will be program outcomes, I'm also trying to cover up upon there will be Bloom taxonomy levels and how we are trying to use Bloom taxonomy level along with the COs. Then attainment of POs, wherein I am trying to talk about how COs are going to be mapped with POs, right, and how we need to calculate the attainment of COs, POs as well. And lastly, once we identify some of the issues or some of the major concern with our teaching learning process, how do we address those things that is going to be proposed at the last, that is what is actually proposed is. Coming to the key terminologies, wherein first we need to understand POs. POs is program educational objectives, which are the statements basically, expected the achievements of there be the graduates, and also it talks about expected to perform and achieve during first few years after the graduation. And we need to define our POs. It varies from organization to an organization, not like your POs. The second one is POs. POs are broad statements. I think all of you have come across the number of POs we use it. Yeah, some disturbance. Hello, I'm audible.
Yeah, sir. Participant, please mute your mic.
Yeah.
Sir, slide share unmadi sir. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ.
Yes. Thank you for your
Yeah, nice, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I'm just. It is something happened. 1 minute. Hello.
Yes.
One ನಿಮಿಷ
Sir,
ಸರ್.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಹಲೋ
ಈಗ
ಒಂದ್
ಬರ್ತಾ
ನಿಮಿಷ
ಇದೆ.
ಅದೇನೋ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆಯ್ತು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
ಹಾ.
ಏನು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಏನೇ ಆಯ್ತು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? 1 minute. Yeah, it is showing you are sharing Microsoft PowerPoint, but none of the slides are visible.
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ
ಹಾ,
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಂಡೋಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ.
ಶೇಡ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗಿ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ.
Yeah, you are sharing PowerPoint.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಂಡೋಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್.
ಸರ್
ಶೇರ್ ವಿಂಡೋಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಆಯ್ತು. Shall I share that PPTs to you? Hello.
ಹಾ, ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ಮಾಡಿ, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್.
ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ ಇದು? ಏನ್ ಕತೆ?
ಹಾ, ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ಮಾಡಿ.
ಈಗ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಸರ್?
ಹಾ, ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಫೈನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೈಸ್.
ಏನೋ ಟ್ರಬಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಸ್ಲೋ ಇದೆಯೇನೋ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅಗೈನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಸಮರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದು. ಅದೇನೋ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಲೋ ಇದೆ. ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ, ನಾನು ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಶೇರ್ ಇಟ್ 1 minute. ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ ಮೇಲಲ್ಲಿ.
ಮೇಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ಮೇಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಜಿಮೇಲ್ ಸರ್?
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ದು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ನಾಗರಾಜ್.
ಯಾಹೂ ಅಲ್ಲ.
professor.rnagaraja@yahoo.com sir.
Right.
ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ ಸರ್?
ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಸರ್.
ಹಲೋ.
ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.
ಹಾಂ.
ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸರ್ PPT-ನ.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೋಗಿದೆ.
ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ಸರ್.
ಏನ್ ಸರ್ ಇದು? ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, 3 minutes ago ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೋಗಿದೆ. ಏನೋ ಇದೇನೋ.
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.
ಬಂದಿದೆಯಾ?
ಹಾ. ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಆಯ್ತು, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಈಗ?
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಗರಾಜ್ GS ಕೋ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇದು PPTs ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಈಗ ಸರ್?
Yeah, now it is visible.
Okay sir.
Shall I proceed, sir?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, I was talking about key terminologies, program curriculum, program outcomes, attainment of COs, attainment of POs, and action proposed. This is what is my plan of presentation for next 1 hour, right? With questionnaires from all the participants, right? Sir, could you please right now go to the next slide, please? Yeah, I was talking about POs and POs, right? POs you need to design based on the vision, mission, and overall development of your program basically. And POs are standardized, right? These POs you need to use it, right, to map the course COs, which includes there'll be a problem analysis, identify, formulate, research literature, analyze engineering problems to arrive sustainable conclusions. I mean, these are all some of the words we can use it while constructing. There will be an POs as well. Then curriculum and teaching, based on your teaching learning process. Basically, we need to look into overall curriculum design of the program and what may be the right process you use it for teaching learning process, right? And once we use that, we meticulously follow the guidelines of using. There will be a Bloom taxonomy and specified COs in each case. Then we have to find out COs attainment and POs attainment for that course, and later we need to evaluate, that is the curriculum assessment and evaluation with the help of tools of POs attained. Sir, can you move to the next slide, please? Yeah, these are all some of the program objectives, what we have it, right? This is for our MTech program in computer network and engineering, right? The first PO1 talks about apply knowledge acquired in computer network engineering to problems encountered in real-time applications using sustainable solution. The second PO is demonstrate technical capability, leadership skills to innovate, communicate and collaborate to pursue career in computer network engineering domain. The third one is to engage in research and contribute to the growth of computer networks domain. And the last one is analyze and solve societal issues related to computer network engineering with a focus on professional ethics and lifelong learning. I guess, you have your own POs. You can use your POs to attain or to process it further in the attainment process. Yeah, sir, can you move on to the next slide? Coming to the program outcomes, I guess all of you are very familiar with 11 POs, what we were used earlier. The first one talks about there being scholarship of knowledge, okay, wherein we always talk about the depth knowledge of your program specialization, which also talks about discriminate, evaluate, analyze, and synthesize existing and new knowledge, and to integrate the same for enhancement of knowledge with a global perspective. The second one is critical thinking, right? Analyze complex problems critically related to computer network engineering domain. Apply independent judgment for synthesizing information to make intellectual and or creative advances with a research perspective. However, when we are saying it's a critical thinking, how do we measure or say this is going to become a critical thinking? Maybe the perceptions may be varied sometimes, but however, based on the complexity of your question which you frame it, right, and the kind of topic which you discuss, really you can bring some of the right points into a critical thinking. Moving on to the next PO, that is in problem solving. I think this is a very common, and whatever we do, ultimately we need to address some of the problems. The problems may be very generic, or it may be related to engineering domain, or it may be any other application domains as well. However, the technology we use it, ultimately we are trying to use the technology to address the various issues of the societal problems, basically. Moving on to the research skill, during the process of critical thinking and problem solving, you need to inculcate some kind of research skill to apply some of the research methodologies to solve your problems. Hence, this is one of the major program outcomes in case of UG, as well as, I mean, in case of the PG, because the PG students need to think about more of research orientation rather than like an UG student. Coming to the PO5 usage of the modern tools, I guess all the time we used to say for the students, try to use the tools which are applicable in this particular a course, so that they can explore a lot of things to understand, analyze, predict something with the process as well. Is the usage of modern tools and collaborative and multidisciplinary work, because in the present context, what is happening is most of the work comes under the multidisciplinary work rather than the program specialization. Even if you look at our recently launched the NEP scheme as well, where mainly focuses on the multidisciplinary and collaborative aspects of the courses, right? I think where multiple teams comes together, collaborate with one another, and they start working with different projects, or maybe working with to achieve the set goals. So this is very essential. That is what is your PO6 is. Sir, can you move on to the next slide, please? And then project management and finance. Okay, again, in order to initiate and complete any task, we need to have and follow the project management guidelines, and we have to keep monitoring these guidelines thoroughly, including there will be in finance, unless until we never ask the students to look into these aspects probably while mapping your CO and PO. Also, we may mention there will be in COs are not mapping into this particular PO, but however, any task must include with project management details. Hence, the complexity of your mapping may be low, or maybe medium, or it may be in high in certain cases, but there should be some mapping is very essential here also. Coming to the communication, you may say that how we need to map there will be in communication with us, with respect to a course. See, look, what is happening, it need not be always there will be an oral communication. Of course, in a PG level, we also set some of the assignments to the students to give there will be in seminars, right? Or maybe an experiential learning. Apart from that, you can also look for there will be an written communication rather than there will be an oral communication, because once the moment you give some work to them, you look at their assignment work, observe that, and try to map that, and calculate the obtained marks accordingly. Then it is possible to achieve there will be an map there will be an CO to PO8 as well. Lifelong learning, it's a recognize the need for and have the preparation and ability to engage in life learning independently. It's a continuous process, there is no end for it. Okay, so as a result of that, students can also contribute even though they finish their program, and they can come back to the college and they can contribute in various forms. So then ethics and practices and social responsibility, so we need to inculcate students to follow these practices right from the beginning, because they may be working with a different levels, maybe student, maybe professionals, or maybe your own colleagues later. right? Or maybe, at the industry at different levels as well, wherever they are, okay, they need to follow ethical practices. And lastly, we have independent and reflective learning. Observe and examine critically the outcomes of one's actions and make corrective measures subsequently, and learn from mistakes with or without depending on external feedback. Okay, that's where we are talking about there'll be an independent. Once you know your mistakes or there'll be feedback, right, accordingly, we need to improve upon it. And it's again, it's going to be reflect with your work as well. Yeah, sir, please move on to the next slide. Hello. Yeah, this is the framework of your teaching learning process altogether. We have there'll be a curriculum and teaching learning. You may be knowing it, right? Where in a program we have there'll be a number of courses in each semester, right? We are doing there'll be a lot of right activities in each semester with respect to that course. All the things comes under there'll be a curriculum and there'll be teaching learning. Then for each course, you may be right calculating there'll be an course attainment. Hello. Course outcomes, right? You may have there'll be a very specific course outcomes for that particular course, and these are going to be not with there'll be program outcomes, right? I mean, all these components are also connected with program educational objectives as well. So altogether, we could say that, right, when we want to go ahead with there'll be an attainment process, all are linked with one another. Once, if there is any issues with anyone, obviously it will affect the overall attainment of that particular course. Can you move on to the next slide, sir, please? Yeah, this is the flowchart to right now attainment of the COs. Initially, we have the course syllabus. We are trying to map COs to CAE question paper, because as and when you start designing your own question paper, ensure that right now you need to be mentioned right the Bloom taxonomy level of that question as well as that question mapped with CO. Okay, it's a mandatory. Once we start using that right from the beginning, then our process is going to become much more easier. Unless we are not following it, we need to follow it that meticulously. Then student score from there'll be the test and quiz, right? We need to calculate right what may be the score of each student based on there'll be COs, right? That we need to calculate. And coming to this now, you can also consider, apart from there'll be a test and a quiz, there's a lab experiment, self-study assignment, self-study or assignment. All these things comes under there'll be an, direct, right, attainment process. Okay, we can call this as an CAE, where from the direct process, we are considering there will be an 80%, and in the indirect process, right, we are considering there will be an a 20%. So there may be various reasons for that. Okay, again, it varies from there will be an institution to institution. Some of them they may take there will be an 50-50, or some of them they may go ahead with there will be an 60 and 40. So these are all very difficult to answer. Why is it an 80 and 20? Why is it an 50-50, or why is it an 60 and 40? But we need to have some policy at your institutions accordingly. We need to go ahead and we have to be justified accordingly. That's what is essential. When it comes to there will be a direct, again, from the overall 100%, we take there will be the 90%, right? And from there will be the indirect, we take there will be 10%. So where in the indirect component, we have there will be a course and survey mapped to COs, right? Course and survey mapped to COs, invited talks, workshops, or then maybe students might have taken the NPTEL certificates as well. So ultimately, right, we take 90% from the direct components and 10% from the indirect component, and we calculate the CO attainment for that particular course. Yeah, move on to the next slide. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. Yeah, this is the flowchart for establishing POs, right? You know, how do we establish the Libyan POs? Because right, as of now, for the MTech program, right, they suggest that you just follow the Libyan three POs, but also they have given some kind of flexibility. We can extend right up to there will be six POs as per the guidelines. As a result of that, RVCE MTech programs right designed with three POs as per the guidelines, and also we had it for our program, computer network engineering and computer science and engineering. Three more POs together. Totally, we have there will be six POs. Yeah, when we look at flowchart for establishing the Libyan POs, right? See here, there's a program coordinator, one who looks after the Libyan MTech program, where right other stakeholders which are connected to them, maybe faculty, alumni, industry personalities, statutory bodies, and there'll be professional societies where he collects there'll be the input from every stakeholders. So then at the right hand side, he has to the program coordinator need to look after there'll be the institution vision, mission, department vision and mission, program educational objectives, and draft. They need to there'll be a draft, there'll be POs. Okay, once POs are right approved at the academic and advisory committee. Okay, if it is yes, then it will go to the board of studies approval. Right. If not, again the program coordinator need to be rework on those POs. Right. Once you get an approval from board of studies, so then we will move on to academic council approval. So there also we got there will be an approval. Certainly, the POs are going to be published. Else, we are working further and further to fine tune the Libyan POs according to their suggestions, right? Periodically. Yeah. Can you move on to the next slide, please? Yeah, this is flowchart for establishing the Libyan POs. I think again same kind of procedures we are following it while establishing the Libyan POs, similar to the Libyan POs, right? But here, we look at there will be an academic advisory committee, then we take the approval of that, then it goes to the Libyan academic council, or then maybe in a board of studies. Once we get the approval, it will be published. If not, we will rework on right whatever the POs initially we defined. Yeah, can you move on? Yeah, this is what is the focus of today's presentation basically. Right, a formulation of the Libyan COs and POs mapping. I believe all of you are using the Libyan Bloom's taxonomy, right, from many years as of now, right? Again, while using the Libyan Bloom's taxonomy and COs, right, there may be some of the issues, but it's going to, I mean, it is possible to address these issues, right, as and when we start practicing it more and more. That's it. Otherwise, it may not be possible again. Yeah, when it comes to Bloom's taxonomy level, we generally identify the Bloom's taxonomy level, maybe L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, right? L6, like that, we are going to identify it. And also at the same time, you're also talking about, designing and constructing of your course outcomes for a particular course. That varies again based on some action words, whatever we have it here. Maybe the very first COs, you can have it in each course, maybe the kind of remembrance kind of, course details you can bring in. Then the second one may be an understand, right? Sometimes, even you can push there's an remember and understand together with one and you can go ahead. It all depends upon the course teacher, one who is going to, follow to design the CO of that particular course. However, right, you can say that remember kind of details comes under the Libyan CO1, understand, maybe CO2, apply, maybe CO3, analyze, maybe CO4, evaluate, maybe an, CO5, and create, maybe that being CO6. Or let us say, sometimes what happens is it may not be possible to define there will be 6 COs. Maybe it is too complex. Hence, what we can do it is we can limit the number of COs into 4. Okay, if that is the case, right, you can say there will be an remember and understand. You can bring it in, CO1 apply, maybe CO2 analyze, maybe in CO3 evaluate, right, and create. You can bring these two components together, call it as in there will be in CO4. Again, there is no hardened rule that, right, you need to have, there will be an 4 COs, 5 COs, or it may be in 6 COs. It depends upon, there will be a course, right, a teacher, one who is going to design, and also some kind of brainstorming may be required at the very initial stages to have, right, a very specific COs for a particular course. I think on the right hand side, you can observe that, right, what each one talks about it. When I'm talking about, there'll be the remember, it recall facts and there'll be the basic concepts. It is focuses on that basically. And the understanding talks about, there'll be an explain ideas or there'll be the concepts. So more of there'll be an, right, a classification and other things. Then applies use information in new situations, which talks about solve or, implement, demonstrate, and other keywords you can use it. Analyze is, draw connections among ideas, differentiate, organize, relate, compare, contrast, distinguish, examine, experiment, question, and test. As and when we move from, there'll be a bottom to, there'll be the right, the top of the pyramid. Obviously, the complexity increases slowly. Okay. So as a result of that, while setting any kind of CAE question, ensure that right, the question CAE or there will be an SCE paper must include all these, right, complexity. So don't set any paper only based on right, over CO1, CO2, CO3, and CO4. It should be the amalgamation of all the 4 components. I mean 4, or there will be 6 components, whatever you define it. Going to the evaluate, justify a stand or a decision, and lastly you have been produced new or will be original work. I think all of you are following this, and we need to right, practice more and more to frame your questions accordingly. Can you move on, sir, please? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When it comes to, right, the 6 levels, whatever we have understood just now, right, look at the first one. There is a recall. So these are all some of the keywords. There is an action words which we can use it. That's on describe, name, find, list, relate, write. Okay, all these things comes under, there will be an, right, L1. Okay, or you can also call these kinds of, there will be the questions, right, or a concepts, whatever it comes, put it in CO1. And examine, obviously it goes with explain, compare, discuss, predict, outline. There will be in restate, put it in, there will be an L2, right, this is some CO2. Then apply, complete, use, examine, illustrate, classify, solve. It comes under, there will be an L3, analyze, right, compare, contrast. L4, evaluate, right, there's an L5, and last one is going to become an L6. But the question is, let us assume a scenario wherein you have, there will be an L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, and L6 variations in your complexity of your questions, but you may have sometimes only 4 COs, or you may have 5 COs. How do we map, your Bloom taxonomy levels into the COs is going to be debatable once again. So, however, when you come across these kinds of, there will be the questions, you need to look at, right, what exactly the complexity of the question, what you are trying to do it, right, also whenever you are designing your course contents, ensure that, right, so the number of COs which are going to be defined in your course must cover the entire syllabus of your course, unless you are leaving any one unit, and if you give some 4 or 3 COs, then it is very difficult. So in turn, which is going to be affect to your CO attainment, in turn which affects to your PO attainment. Okay, you need to take care of all these things as and when you go ahead with your CO PO mapping and attainment. Yeah, can you move on to the next slide? Hello. Yeah, again, it's an right, additional right slide to talk about various action verbs and activities we use at the Bloom taxonomy. I think we have already followed right, using up there'll be a number of action words under each right level. Probably remember also, see here, define, list, recall, identify, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. What I reiterate here is that the kind of level of complexity goes in this way only. However, as and when we frame your question, look at the complexity and try to bring that question into a proper Bloom taxonomy level, and also look at your COs, right? But remember one thing, most of the time, it doesn't mean that always, right, L1 need to be mapped with the CO1 or L2 be mapped with the CO2. There may be slight variation in that, but most of the time, too much of variations are not going to happen. But you have to look at the questions, how you're framed accordingly. You have to, right, mention your COs as well. Yeah, please move on. Yeah, having said this, right, we have to understand that, see, what are course learning outcomes, right? So course learning outcomes are statements clearly describing the meaningful, observable, and measurable knowledge, skills, or there'll be dispositions students will learn in this particular course. Course learning outcomes answer the question, what demonstrate knowledge, skills, or disposition should graduates of this course possess that they did not have before the course. Our course learning outcomes are statements clearly describing the specific type and level of new learning students will have achieved, and can reliably demonstrate by the end of the course, basically. Yeah, course learning outcomes clearly identify what the student will know and be able to do after successfully completing this course. The essential knowledge, abilities, and attitudes that constitute the basic learning needed by a graduate of this course. I think, being professors, all of you are definitely come across, these facts. However, right, so we need to ensure that the student is going in a right track to acquire the necessary skills related to that particular course. Yeah, again, there are three types of course learning outcomes we can identify. One is in cognitive outcomes, where what will students completing this course now? And maybe the second one is the behavioral outcomes. What will students completing this course be able to do it? And the next one is an affective outcomes. What will students completing this course care about, or there will be anything? In the sense that, let us say, when you want to write your outcomes, you have to look at and answer, and you need to be justify among yourself while writing your outcomes as well. Yeah, please move on. Yeah, good course learning outcomes use action verbs to specify the demonstrable and measurable knowledge, skills, or dispositions possessed by students completing this course. Maybe a lot of keywords. You can use it. Say, for example, you have compile, identify, create, plan, revise, analyze, design, select, utilize, apply, demonstrate, prepare, use, compute, discuss, explain, predict, assess, compare, rate, critique, outline, and there'll be an evaluate. I mean, I never say that only these keywords covers the entire details, but there is a scope to improve upon it based on the complexity, right, and the curriculum design as well. Yeah, good course learning outcomes are meaningful always. Okay, so I think even if you understand at the end of the course, right, whether the students have learned with the help of course and survey as well, because if you frame some of the course and survey questions to the students, and if you share it, and if they provide you, there'll be the right kind of, there'll be the feedback, you can understand that my course learning outcomes are they'll be improper or not. Yeah, can you move on? Yeah, good course learning outcomes are measurable. Okay, ensure that these things need to be happen. Good course learning outcomes are distinctive. Okay, you need to distinct with one another. You need not have there be the same kind of there'll be an outcomes right with one another whatever you define it. A good course learning outcomes are aligned or consistent with the learning outcomes or goals of the department or a college. That's what I said. Always you need to set right your course outcomes in tune with your course, in tune with your program, in tune with the department vision mission, in turn in tune with the college vision mission ultimately. However, when you look at that, basically you may have there be the course initially, then the student must be able to achieve the course outcomes of that course. Then those outcomes must be achieved. The program specialization objectives later, he or she should be an employable right in a different organizations ultimately. So that's how the mapping goes on from one level to the another level. Yeah, good course learning outcomes are paired with learning activities in the course that allow the student to achieve the course learning outcomes and allow a teachers to assess this achievement as well. Okay, so that is what I have already mentioned right regarding the last one. Can you move on, please? Yeah, let me say some of the facts here. There will be in CBOS and BT levels. Look at this is one typical sample which I have taken to illustrate how CBOS and statements or questions which are mapping with your Bloom taxonomy level. See here, CO1, interpret the fundamental Python syntax and semantics and be fluent in the use of Python control flow statements. Okay, this particular statements comes under the LBN CO1, right? Majority of the things you need to be remember it and recall it. That's it, right? And also the kind of questions which you can set here is it may goes to the LBN level L2 because you're trying to talk about the syntax and semantics of Python programming language. Moving on to the CO2, where you're trying to express proficiency in the handling of strings and LBN functions. Okay, since it is also some kind of descriptions you're talking about it. Okay, you're writing that's an CO2, and the complexity of the questions which you can set here is the LBN L2. Then CO3, determine the methods to create and manipulate Python programs by utilizing the data structures like lists, dictionaries, tuples, and LBN sets. You may be applying these data structure to determine something. Obviously, it goes to the LBN, L3 and the LBN CO3 level. And fourth one is identify and commonly use operations involving file systems and regular expressions. Look at what has happened here is, if you take just an identification, obviously it goes with L2. But apart from identifying it, if you are trying to compute something else, so then you can move that question from the LBN L2 to the another level. It may go to the LBN L4 also. Again, the complexity and what kind of things you are trying to do it in identification that you need to think about here. That's in CO4. And lastly, we have the LBN articulate the object-oriented programming concepts such as encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism as used in Python. That's in CO5. So the moment if I'm talking about there is an articulation, right here, obviously it is relating to a project basically, wherein you are bringing in. Hello. Yeah, you are bringing in all the object-oriented programming concepts in CO5. Okay, that's an L3. I mean, you can keep on writing, number of COs relevant to your course based on the course contents, whatever you design, and ensure that at least, you need to have there will be a very minimal number of COs, hence, your mapping is also going to become there will be very easy. So very minimal, don't have there will be one or two, then it is very difficult to cover all the course contents. Yeah, move on to the next slide. Yeah, let me illustrate the same thing with one example, for example, our course is say, computer network engineering. Here, whenever you want to calculate CO attainment and PO attainment, obviously you need to look at direct delivery methods and indirect delivery methods. Where in the direct delivery methods, we have a quiz, test, assignment, self-study, project work, semester end examination on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you have an indirect delivery methods, which talks about course and survey, invited talks, employers feedback, alumni feedback, seminars, and there'll be a workshop, right, or PDP programs as well. So these all components comes under the indirect delivery methods. Where in RVCE, we have given there'll be a 90% for direct delivery methods, and indirect will be 10%. Where in the direct method, 80% we have given for CAE component, and 20% we have to there'll be an SEE component. Can you move on to the next slide? Yeah, this is advances in computer networks. It is our program, right, a course, okay, which is having there will be an right theory as well as right a practical. We have been 5 credits for this course. It's the total CAE is there will be 100 plus 50. SE is also 100 plus 50. Can you move on to the next slide, please? Yeah. This is, these are all the course, right, COs and the corresponding, right, CO-PO mapping. See the first one, CO1 is understand the functionalities and services provided by each layer of a network models. Okay, that is, the first CO1. The second one is identify and analyze the different protocols used in each layer of the network models. So when I'm talking about the networks models, here we talk about internet protocol model and your ISO model. Okay, so then the third one is design various protocols and implement algorithms in different layers. And the last one is create and apply an end-to-end communication principles in an internet working and its services. I mean, these 4 COs are mapped with 11 POs, okay, which are identified here are H, M, and L, where H indicates there will be an higher range, M is there will be a medium, L is going to become lower. Okay, so while calculating there will be an attainment, always H is going to be replaced with 3, M is going to be replaced with 2, and L is going to be replaced with 1. You can ask me a question here, why were all COs are not mapping with PO6? Yes, as and when we start initially, we may thought that, right, it won't map it, but later as and when we progress it, we can understand that yes, we have done, there will be an 1 or 2 mistake and mapping may not be correct, we need to correct it. That you can incorporate it during your next level of right scheme introduction, or else even while calculating right your CO attainment, give some weightage for that particular PO and justify it. Okay, this is what is you have done it, so that you can easily correct it and you can get there be the right kind of POs, attainment for that particular POs as well. Can you move on to the next, please? Yeah, to talk about much in detail, okay, we always prepare the student right details in an Excel sheet where we have there'll be a quiz, we have there'll be an 2 quizzes and there'll be an 2 tests right for a semester. CAE marks. Question paper is going to be designed with the CAE marks. So let us say you have there'll be CAE marks of 1, 2, 1, 1, right? I mean, this is the quiz actually. What I'm talking here, that is for 10 marks. And on the right hand side, we have there'll be an a test CAE one, that is for there'll be the 50 marks. Maybe 5 questions here, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, or even you can do that variation as well. And each question is mapped with there'll be in CO mapping. The first question is mapping to first quiz question is mapping to CO1. Second, right question is mapping to mapping to CO2. Like that, it goes on. Similarly, you can observe it on the right hand side. Right, we have mentioned all the CO mapping of each question, whatever we frame it. Then we are trying to mention the marks scored by there'll be the student. Say marks scored by the student in the first one maybe 0, second one 0, 1, 1. I mean, whatever it shows, right? You please mention it for each and every questions. Because these things are very essential to calculate your CO attainment later, and you have to do the same thing for your CAE 2 marks, right? And mapping and the marks scored by each student, you need to be mention it. This you can prepare it in an Excel sheet for all the students. Yeah, can you move on to the next slide? Yeah. Look at this particular CO distribution. You have there'll be in quiz 1 where you have there'll be in 5 CO1 questions, right? You know, CO2 you have 2, CO3 you have 2, and CO4 there'll be in 1. The total, right, marks is there'll be in 10. And for your test T1, right, we have there'll be in 24 CO1 question, 6 CO2 questions, and CO3 4, and CO4 maybe 6, totally there'll be in 50. See, again, you can ask me a question here, why only it is in 6 and 4, why not it is more? See, what happens as and when you start your course contents, some of the times while framing there will be the questions, you may not find which are mapping to there being CO2 and CO3. As a result of that, maybe the less focus may be there with CO2 and CO3. These things are going to be improved in later test and other things. And even if there is any issues. Hello. Yeah, I'm audible?
Yeah, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, please, can you go to the previous? Yeah, this is, Q2, similarly, there will be T2. The total number of CO1 is 44, CO2 is 13, CO3 is 24, CO4 is 39. Total is 120. Can you move on to the next slide? Yeah, this is the marks scored by the student. Look at this. If you compare, the previous slide and this slide, this slide gives you, the total marks scored by a student. Maybe the CO1 he has acquired, there'll be in 42 marks. CO2 he has acquired 10. CO3 maybe.
How frequent repeatedly?
Hello.
Somebody is speaking. Please mute your mic. The audience is unmuted the mic and speaking. Please mute your mic. It is disturbing.
In CO3 it is 17. In CO4 maybe there'll be 37 here. Okay, once we know the marks scored by a student, we can easily calculate what may be the attainment of CO1, CO2, CO3, and CO4. Okay, that you can observe it in the next slide. Can you move on, please?
Sir, there is one question that
please
is asking.
Yes.
It says, do we have to frame separate COs for a particular course apart from what VTU gives COs, sir?
That is the problem, sir. See, what happens is, since VTU design the syllabus and they say you use this, we have to use that. That's it. There's no other go for us. But again, how you are going to be justified to the committee, or how the policy you are trying to address it at your institutions, that matters again. I think I've answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Again, coming to this, I'm trying to find out. There'll be the CO1. It is a CO1. In CO1, the marks scored by the student is 42. The total number of COs questions are 44. We are trying to calculate into 100. So we'll get 95.45. Similarly, calculate for CO2, CO3, CO4, whatever it show with the same manner. Obviously, you get 76.92. 70.83 and 94.87. Okay, you can just take that is an 10 divided by the next the number of COs of CO2 into 100, 17 divided by the next one, and 37 divided by the total number of CO4. Okay, so that is that gives you there'll be the values of 95, 76, 70, and 94 respectively. Next slide, please. Yeah, when it comes to the element assignment, as I mentioned in my earlier talk itself, most of the time the review, NBA committee asks us, why you are varying the element COs? Can't you have the element same marks distribution for all COs? It may not be possible in case of there will be in your CIE paper, but that you can showcase it in case of your assignment. Okay, wherein you can bring in all CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4 components, and you can divide your marks. That's what we have done it here. So CO1 maximum 25, 25, 25, 25. We evaluate it for 100 marks, that we are going to reduce it for our requirement, maybe 25, or there'll be 30, whatever it's so. Okay. And out of 25, he has scored is 23.33, 25 is 17.5. So 25 is 23.33. And we are trying to calculate it, that is 23.33 divided by 25, which gives you 93.32 in case of there'll be an assignment. Yeah, next, move on. Similarly, that is applicable to for rest of the 3 COs as well. Next. Yeah, then we are trying to find out the same, things in case of lab as well. Okay, that is an CO1 is 48, CO2 12, CO3 is 12, and CO4 is 60. Because your lab experiment varies. Basically, it is not all the experiment doesn't have, there will be an same kind of complexity. Because of that, there is a variation is going to happen. So whatever the marks scored by, there will be the each student that you need to be calculated. Next, move on. Yeah, this is I have taken the direct attainment here, test and quiz, assignment, and there will be the lab attainment. What is acquired in CO1 of test and quiz, assignment, and there will be the lab attainment. I will combine and I will take the average of that. I'll get the final CO1 of the direct component. Can you move on? Similarly for rest of the components as well. Move on to the next slide. Yeah, this is what is I'm getting it here. Yes. The first one is 90.01, 62.86, 68.60, and the last one is 84.95. And ultimately, as I said, that it is not just only the CIE, you should also look at there will be an SCE, right? So where while calculating this, we consider there will be the 80% of your direct attainment, that's a 90.01 of 18%. And whatever he has scored in the SCE, that is an 56.33, for example, it's in 20%, we are considering it here, that's going to become your CO1, which talks about SCE plus CIE as well. Okay. Again, it is applicable to CO2, CO3, CO4. Again, next. Yeah, then go ahead with the indirect attainment. We have, there will be an course and survey, invited talks, whatever it's so. We will evaluate it for equal number of marks, and we are calculating attainment of CO for indirect components. Right, we take the average of 2 or more components, whatever we use it here, and we will write it directly. So look at the end, that is at the bottom. We have, there will be the direct method. We have, there will be the indirect method. Right, so and we are calculating. What may be the CO attainment for that particular course is, right? Next. Hello. Yes, sir. Yeah. This is the final CO attainment. Okay, it is an CIE, SCE, course and survey, and invited talk. What I mean is, so your CO attainment, is an amalgamation of your direct attainment, and there will be the indirect attainment, where in the direct attainment you have, there will be CIE, SCE, assignment, self-study, whatever it's so, whereas in case of indirect attainment, you have course and survey and invited talks. Okay, with the direct attainment, we have considered there will be the 90%, where in the indirect attainment, we have considered only 10%, because a lot of variations are going to happen in case of there will be a course and way because of the various reasons. Okay, but whereas when it comes to the direct attainment, again, we have also given less importance to there will be an SCE. The reason is that, as and when we give the paper to the outside, certain parameters we need to address it, because of balancing these things, less percentage weightage is given. However, we want to improve upon it, we can do that. That's not an issue. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, coming to the your PO attainment, I have completed. There will be the CO attainment. When it comes to the PO attainment, again, you have to look at your initial table where you have mapped your COs into the POs with L, H, and M weightage, right? I have replaced your L, H, M characters with the appropriate weight of it. that is H with 3, M with 2, and L with 1. And I have mentioned on the left hand side the CO attainment for that course. The first CO one is 80.36, second one is 80.53, and the third one is 77.69, and the fourth one is 77.97. The final average right CO attainment is 79.64. So I need to calculate now PO attainment. What we do is, right, we are taking right the PO1 weightage, multiplying PO1 right with the corresponding CO weightage. Here it is an 82.36 into 2 plus 80.53 into 2 plus 77.69 into 1 plus 77.97 into 2. That you need to be multiplied, right? So that is what I have shown the calculation here, that you need to be divide by 4, because the weightage, the COs here you have, will be in 4. Obviously we are dividing that by 4, and whatever the value you get, that that is to be further divided by with 3 into 79.64. So what is that 3 is the weightage which we have considered for, there will be the PO attainment, and 79.64 is the average CO, which gives you, there will be an PO1 attainment here is, there will be an 1.75. okay. Similarly for PO2 you get, there will be an PO2, PO3 is 2.5, PO4 is 1, PO5 is 1, PO6 is 0, PO7 is 0, because it is a 0, 0 is there. Even you can look at the bottom, right, where you don't have any L and M in case there will be in PO6 and PO7, obviously, right, that those two particular columns belongs to, there will be in 0, 0, right, so then PO8, PO9, PO10, PO11. So what I mean here is that, you calculate POs for your course based on the weight assigned, and whatever the CO PO mapping, you've done it at the very initial stage along with your CO attainment, and you get to know what is your PO attainment is, right? Whereas in this particular case, I got the PO attainment of 58.54, 66.40, 83.44, okay, then 33.33. It goes on like that. Look at on 6th and 7th one, right? We have, there will be the PO attainment of 0, and PO7 attainment is 0. Certainly these are all questions are going to rise. You are not attained anything, right, in case of, there will be in PO6 and PO7, right? So why? What is the reason? Why? I mean, the reason is that, right, unless until your mapping is not going to happen, it is not possible to achieve it, one thing. And secondly, we should also ensure that as and when we want to achieve communication or project management and finance, what kind of methodologies we are following it in our teaching learning process, we need to look into it. Once we map that, maybe to the medium or to the lower level, definitely it may not be possible to achieve, there will be in 60%, 70%. I am sure, right, you will also agree with me, it is possible to achieve at least 25%, 30%, 40%. But remember one thing, in order to satisfy, there will be the review committee. Sometimes what we do, we may say that right, we want to achieve, there will be an 80% in all that. No, it's not possible to achieve, there will be an 80. I mean, it is possible. It is really good with your teaching learning process. In each PO you have achieved, there will be an 80% or a 90%, whatever it so. But it is very difficult task to achieve, there will be in such a margin. Basically, even if it is a lesser, it is a justifiable, it is going to become, there will be much more meaningful, right, according to me. Yeah, we move on to the next slide, please. Yeah, coming to, there is an PO's target, because this is one of the biggest question most of the time. Review committee, peer review committee, they may ask you how you are going to calculate, there will be the target. Look at this, right? We have 2012 scheme, or you may have, there will be in 2014 scheme, you may have a 2016 scheme, you may have 2018 scheme. As you know that when it comes to, there will be an MTech program, right? Since it's a 2 years program, and the course curriculum may also right, change for every 2 years. Maybe in case of the NVTU, maybe for 3 years, of course. Okay. So while calculating a target, what we need to do is we have to take the average of CO mapping of each course POs altogether. Okay. That means, let us assume a scenario wherein from 4 semesters of your MTech CNE, right, you may have roughly, right, 14 courses, right? Average of COPO mapping of, right, all 14 courses you need to consider here, divided by total number of subject in that course. That, I mean, you have to divide that. You will get there will be some component, there is an X, and that again you have to divide by, there is a 3, since the weightage is there will be an low and medium and there will be an high. So that's the reason we are supposed to be calculate, I mean, divide by there will be an 3. That will gives you there will be a target value for that scheme. Okay, once the target value you got, there will be an say 72.83, for example, you can just say that you can fix a target is there will be an 72 for that particular course. Let us say you got there will be the PO2, a target value maybe 65, certainly you can 60.5.83, you can fix it, there will be an 65. Okay, so don't fix the target value higher than whatever the target you get it. Basically, you just try to round it up to the lesser value of that. That will be always good, so that you can achieve there will be the target and ensure that right now things are going to be improved. But however, in some cases, right, if you observe the target value is 60, you may get it, but you might have achieved only 30%. Or in some cases, the target value may be 20, but you might have achieved nothing basically. Correct? So then how do we address it? That's where we are talking about, right? Some kind of action may be required from your end. Okay, that is what is the next slide gives you that information. Can you move on to the next slide, please? Hello. Yeah, that's where we talk about a remarks or a gap analysis. Course outcomes were achieved as per the set target for 2016 scheme only, but not achieved in 2018 scheme. Okay. However, PO's attainments required additional component. That's where since you want to improve your teaching learning process. How do we improve it? Right. So you have to look at what are the direct and indirect components as of now you are using it. Right now, how do we bring in some more components into your indirect method, or there will be the direct method to improve upon it. Okay, that's what is you need to look into it. Then scope to improve analysis, design, and project based aspects of POs in this course. Okay, see, because since it is a project based kind of a things comes under, there will be in project management, finance, and there will be in communication, because most of the time project based learning process is going to happen with respect to communication. Certainly you bring project based learning process or open ended questions or open ended projects in your course. As a result of that, right, PO's attainment is also going to be improved further. Yeah, protocol services are different layers of protocol stack need to be analyzed and addressed based on different applications of internet working. I mean, this is relating to my course actually. Open-ended critical real environment problems and its implementation was missing, that we need to be identified and we need to bring it. Yeah, can you move on to the next slide, please? Yeah, I mean, we are trying to summarize the overall assessment tools. Maybe you're using the lecturers where your lecturers may be mapping with these POs. Okay, you need to think about, can I use my lectures to coverage PO6 and PO7, PO8 as well? Okay, if that is the case, what will happen? Certainly you can map your COs with PO6 and PO7, PO8, and you can achieve there will be an attainment in those POs as well. Similarly, that is in the quiz. Okay, in the test, right, wherever there is an empty cell is there, empty cell matrix cell is there, obviously, we are not involving any kind of, there will be in teaching learning process in that particular component. Can we add, can we bring some more components into it? You have to look at, because again, it may not be possible to focus all the components with all the POs, right? But wherever there is a some kind of deficiencies are there, certainly you can just include some of the direct and indirect component into it and try to improve upon it. as a result of that, I'm sure definitely you will get a good, right, PO assignment as well. Okay. So that is what is the requirement altogether. So this is what is, right, the action plan. With this, I've concluded my talk. If there is any question, I'm ready to take and answer. Please go to the questionnaire. Last.
Dear participants, you may unmute the mic and ask the question. If you are unable to unmute the mic, you can type in the chat box your question. I can transfer the question to the speaker for answering. Sir, in the meantime,
Yeah.
can you give us some idea of how to compute COs in the last 3 cases, sir? I have displayed for your reference on the
Yeah.
screen, like the assignment, NPTEL, and invited talk.
Okay.
What is your guidelines to
Yeah,
find
see,
COs here?
generally that's what we do in our right, colleges. When it comes to there will be an assignment, we right set right assignment questions to the students and we will give it to them. Actually, we will evaluate it for that is for 100 marks. Okay, that we are going to minimize it for 20 marks. Right. And we'll also ensure that while giving there will be an assignment question, all the levels of COs are going to be covered in it. As a result of that, each right now assignment questions, obviously covers there be in CO one of right 25, CO2 of 25, CO3 of 25, and CO4 of there will be in 25. Okay. And whatever the student scored, that divided by there will be in 25, which gives you there will be the CO attainment of the assignment component. Similarly, in case of your NPTEL and invited talk, you can say, for example, you are evaluating for 10 marks. That's in the indirect component. Say, for example, in case of there'll be an invited talk, what happens, right? We may give some kind of there'll be quiz questions at the end of the talk to the students, right? We can ask them to answer these questions. You can evaluate that and you can have a record of that, and you can showcase that so and so workshop is conducted or invited talk has been organized in the department, right? At the end of the session, right, this is what is conducted and the student scored during the workshop or seminar talk, right, is this. That's it. So then you can have easily right, take those marks and you can go ahead. You can have your own method of analyzing these things, right? And you can have the different way also. Maybe you can also ask some oral questions and you can just have some kind of evidences for that to showcase it. Even that also holds good.
Is there any minimum number of talks or lectures or assignments?
There is no minimum and maximum number of talks altogether here, because since the marks weightage is going to become very less, right? Even in a semester, if you organize right, one or two, right, that may be sufficient to evaluate a student performance related to that particular course. That is very, very important. Unless it is not relevant to that course and you are trying to project it, then it may be very difficult again. Hello.
There is a question from Dr. Vijay Prakash.
Yes.
Sir is asking,
Yeah.
Give less than 50% weightage for SCC.
SE semester end. Yeah, semester end examination.
Giving less than 50% weightage.
Is it correct?
SEE, is it correct? Is the question.
I mean, see, this is correct. I won't say it is 100% correct. Again, it all depends upon how we have a methodology to process our own right CO attainment, basically. Correct? Because why it is an only 20% is that because as and when the question paper goes to different sources for framing, right, what happens is most of the time, especially in case of there will be an autonomous, maybe sometimes, right, go through the syllabus itself is a very hard job to the professors, and to come out with right question paper as for the, a frame of COs, and there will be an right POs. So hence what will happen, we have taken care right meticulously at the CAE level, and even if something right goes wrong at the SCE right relating to this mapping, okay, because of that less percentage right may be considered. That's the one reason. I mean, there's no hard and rule that you have to use, there will be an 80 and there will be an 20. Certainly you can go ahead with right more also. Okay, it's all again, methodology or a policy of your institution altogether that you need to decide at your level. Yes, any other questions, please?
Any other question? Sir, there is no other question. There are a lot of questions to ask, Professor.
yeah. You can ask.
The time is very short.
Yeah.
And given the time, you have covered a large portion of the COs and POs.
Yes.
Their roles are explained very well. The program educative outcomes as well as program outcomes. And you gave the details of POs and how the MTech program has to be research oriented. And also you gave the insight into the formation of POs and POs, as well as the COs formation and the marks distribution for COs and how to compute COs as well as POs, and how to compute the unfilled POs through the different activities like assignment, NPTEL, as well as invited talk. And our faculty has a lot of doubts, but we will get back to you in future for
Sure,
your
sir.
help in our way of getting MBA in future. On behalf of our management as well as Bangalore Institute of Technology and coordinators of PG, I would wholeheartedly thank you, Professor, for your enlightenment speech on COs and POs. It was very nice and exhaustive. Thank you very much, Professor, once again.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. My special thanks to Dr. Nagraj sir, Professor right and PG coordinator, Department of ISE, BIT, Bangalore. Secondly, I am I'm very much thankful to Principal Sir, Dr. Ashwat MU, Principal BIT, right, and all the professors, faculty of the department, of various departments as well. And lastly, I also extend my a special thanks to the management of BIT as well. Thank you one and all for your patience hearing. Thank you, sir.
One more information I would like to give. Many departments
yeah
I have expressed their happiness over your support for academic activities, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you.
You are helping us a lot in academic activities.
Yes.
On behalf of all of them, I thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Special thanks to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'll just wind up my speech. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.